बीच में जाऊं बेटर रहेगा. हो गया. So good morning class. This class is your data interpretation and visualization using Python. We have already covered our first unit, lesson 1 and lesson 2 as per your self-learning material, introduction to Python libraries and basic data analysis. We have covered what are the essential Python libraries, how to import and export data, and what are the various statistical models like mean, measures of central tendency we have covered, measures of dispersion we have covered. In today's class, we'll start with the second unit, that is your array manipulation using Numpy. It is your lesson 3 as per your self-learning material for data interpretation and visualization using Python. It covers your library Numpy, Python library Numpy, which is used for creating arrays, right? Arrays is basically a collection of data. In this chapter, we'll also see how to perform various arithmetic operations using Numpy functions, and next we will be doing the indexing, slicing, swapping x's and transposing the arrays. So this is unit 4. So what is Numpy? Numpy is basically your, its full form is numerical Python, right? It is the fundamental library for doing numerical computation on arrays. It was created in 2005 by Travis Oliphant. The creator is Travis Oliphant. There is always someone who writes the functions and modules. So that person is the creator, right? Now, what are the features of Numpy? Numpy, it supports for the large multi-dimensional arrays, multi-dimensional arrays and matrices. It has various collections of mathematical functions that could be used to operate arrays, right? Now, the difference between, when we talk about the difference between Numpy and list, what is the difference? In Numpy, the data is stored in continuous memory locations. So, it is easy to manipulate, to perform operations on large arrays because they are stored at one place. This behavior is called locality of reference. So, if I ask what is locality of reference is basically the storage of data in an array in a continuous memory space so that they can be easily accessed and manipulated. Various operations could be performed easily. Here in this chapter, we will be learning how to use the Numpy arrays, what are the different mathematical operations, how to convert the list into arrays, and what are the various functions and attributes. Now, if I start with the creation of an array, right? The first one is to use the import function to import the Numpy libraries. Here I have used, see the two variations. In first variation I have directly imported the library Numpy. In the second variation I have given a alias to the Numpy as np. Okay? Now I have taken a variable my array, initialized it using Numpy. This is the module that I have imported, this is the library. So, in this library there is a function array which will be creating a collection of data items. Now, since it is a numerical array, I have taken 5 values inside the square brackets and each value is separated by a comma. In another variation, what I have done, I have named this library with another name as Numpy, right? And instead of calling Numpy as a complete one, I am calling it by the alias NP. Again the same thing, right? Here there is a variable my array. I have taken here my first array. You can take any variable of your choice. If I use the print function, what will be its out? So its output would be, it will print this array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I talk about string, this is only integer values. If I talk about strings, how can I write it? My first array, it would be in a square brackets. Strings will be in single quotes. For example, A, B, comma, C in single quotes, right? This is a array of string. I can have floating values in parentheses, and then inside the square brackets I can have floating values like 4.1, 5.65, 7.9. So I can have any number of any type of values inside arrays. Next is how to check the version. Now why every time a version is coming up? Because there is an improvement. There is an improvement in the functions, there is an improvement in the modules, there is a addition of some newer functions. There is deletion and removing of some old functions that could not be used. So there is always a newer version of any of the library, any of the programming language, कोई भी software है, operating system है, it comes up with a newer version. If I want to check what is the version of Numpy library that I have installed, I can use the function np, right? Why np I have taken? Because I have renamed it as an alias np and dot underscore version underscore. This will give me the version of Numpy that we are using here. Now in the Numpy functions, the basic functions that we have is your shape, first is your shape. Shape will give you the result how many elements are there in the array. If it is a one dimension, it will give 5. Here in this example, there are 5 elements, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I have taken a variable, my first array. I have taken it into I have taken 5 elements into it. So what will be its output? Output will be 5. In a 2-dimensional array, in this first dimension, there are 3 elements, so it will give me 3. In the second dimension, there are 5 elements, so it will give me 5. So shape will give you the number of elements in an array. Second function is ndim. Ndim will give you the dimension, whether it is a 1 dimension, whether it is a 2 dimension. A 2 dimension will have rows and columns. 3 dimension will be having rows for the first dimension, first axis, second axis and third axis. Just like if you are making an array of cubes, ठीक है, या if you are making an array of rooms. In room 1 you are having length, breadth, its height, 3 dimensions. Second room, length, breadth and height. So there are 3 dimensions for it. So ndim will give you the output, the dimensions of an array. What is the dimension of the array? Third is your data type, D type, which will give you the data type. Like we are talking about the collection of items which are numerical, integer, collection of items which are in string, collection of items which may be floating point, ठीक है? collection of items which may be consisting of objects. So D type will give you the type of the items that are there in array. Now this is an example of how we are using these three functions. Import the library numpy, give it a name as np, give it any name, take a variable my first array equals to, call the function array, inside it take some elements. I have taken here 5 elements, 10, 20, 30 and 50. This print function is just printing out the list of all the items inside an array. Now for the type, this will give me the type of the array. Okay? Shape will give me the number of elements. D type will give me the type of the element, like here it is integer, and ndim will give me the dimensions of the array. Here it is one dimension. So see how we have written the lines of code. So what will be its output? In the first print, this is the output, this is the way how the array will be printed out in square brackets. Type of the array is n dimension array. There is a difference between type and D type. Type of the array is belonging to a class, that is numpy.nd array, whereas data type or D type will give me the type of the data items, right? Shape of the array is 5. Why 5? Number of elements here is 5. Data type, all the values are integer, so it has given me the data type as int 64. And the dimension of the array is 1. You can get questions like, if this is the program, what would be the output? How will you find out the dimension of this array? Using ndim function. How will you find out the number of elements in an array? Shape. How will you find out the data type? Data type of the elements of an array, D type, right? What will be the output of, you will be given an array and it will be like, what will be the output of this code? Fine. Another question, import the numpy library, take an array. Here I have taken a mixed array. Mixed array means it is a two-dimensional array. Some values are string values, some values are numerical values. Now what will be the type of this mixed array? Again it belongs to a class numpy.nd array. Now shape, it is a two-dimension shape of the array, right? And number of elements 4. Data type is U4. U4 again is a type wherein which gives you whether these are the string ones, string or the mixed ones. And the dimension of the array is, what is the dimension of the array? 2. It is a 2 dimension, so it will give you a 2. So each output, ndim is giving me the dimension, 2 dimension, D type is giving me the data type U4, shape is giving me the number of elements, right? And type is giving me that the type of the array belongs to a class numpy.nd array. Now these are the different numpy data types. First type is your string. String is any text data given in single quotes, name, student name, course name, name of the subject, course code. Course code is alphanumeric, it is a string. Roll number. Roll number is not numeric. Why roll number is not numeric? Because we are not doing any numerical operations. We are not adding 2 roll numbers. We are not subtracting 2 roll numbers. We are not multiplying 2 roll numbers. So the roll numbers are always in string. Next, integer, -1, -2, 3, the values which are whole in itself, complete values, integer values. Next type is boolean, 1.2 in decimal. Third type is boolean, true or false. Fourth type is complex data type, which is in the form of 1 plus 2j or 2 iota. A complex number is written as I is equals to square root of -1, right. Finding out the square root of a -1 is a complex number, and we denote it by symbol I, iota, or denote it by a symbol j. Both are same. At times we denote it by iota, at times we denote it by j. Now there are certain alphabets, certain single alphabet which are used to represent the various data types in the Numpy library. I is used for the integer, B is for boolean, U is for unsigned integer, F for float, M, small m is time data, capital M is date time. You can have an array of dates, an array of date of births. So what will be its data type? Capital M, date time. Object, a mixture of it, right? String, capital S is for string, capital U is Unicode string. Unicode string, like in the second example, we had an array of mixed data items. So what was its D type? It was in U4. So U means it is containing U4. What does that U4? It is a Unicode string with each string having length 4. V is a fixed chunk of memory of other type. It's basically void. So these are the different data types in your Numpy libraries, and these are the various small letters that will be used in defining or in extracting the data type of elements in an array. Now coming to the few questions. Here we will be doing first 3 questions, that is creating a one-dimensional array of names of fruits and identify its data type. Your first question will be this. Second, create a 2-dimension array of student names and their percentage. Third question, create 2 arrays and perform mathematical operations. There will be various mathematical operations, addition, sum, finding out the mean, finding out the median, and then the finding out the minimum element, finding out the maximum element, what are the highest marks, what are the lowest marks, what is the average marks, and then we will be doing how to convert a one-dimensional array into different ones. For this, we will use the function reshape. So the difference, shape will give me the number of elements and reshape will convert the array into another dimension. एक dimension है, ठीक है, there is a one-dimensional array of 14 elements. So I can easily convert into an array of 2 dimension, wherein I can have 2 rows, 7 columns. I can have 7 rows, 2 columns. Now this is the first program. It is the simplest program, right? See how I have created the arrays. The name of the variable I have taken fruits, ठीक है, and then I have taken 5 names of the fruits in the form of a string. Since it is a string, include it in single quotes. You may get error. अगर आप यहाँ पे एक square bracket miss कर देंगे, parenthesis miss कर देंगे, या comma miss कर देंगे, या single quote miss कर देंगे, तो you will get an error. It will not run. So what are the four functions that we used? Type, numpy, shape, number of elements, how many elements are there? 5. Data type is U8. It is a Unicode string and the maximum element here is 8. How come this 8 come? See, the maximum element of these string is 8, therefore 8 has come, and the dimension, this ndim will give me the dimension, it is a 1 dimension. You want to note it down, this is the program and this is the output. Next program is to create a 2-dimension array with the student's name and percentage. Now what I have done, this is, I have taken a variable award. I have created an array with these names of the students, 5 students and their corresponding marks, right? So what are the operations that I have performed? First is type. What is the type? Again, class nd.array. Shape of the award. What is the shape? It is a, how many elements it is having? 4. Okay, so it is a 2-dimension and 4 arrays in each, 4 elements in each. Data type, what is the data type? Here it is U32. It is a Unicode string with 32. Next is dimension of the array award, 2 dimension. Dimension of the array marks, 1. Now the data type, there are 2 arrays, one is the award array, another one is the marks array. It is containing the floating values, decimal values. So what will be its data type? Its data type is float. Floating point 64-bit. So what were the data types? For integer values it will come int 64. For floating, for decimal values it will, the output will be float 64. Right? Now performing certain mathematical operations. I have created 2 arrays. Now see, I have taken, instead of taking NP, I have given another name, my Numpy. I can take any name to the, I can call the library that has been imported by any name. I have created 2 arrays, first array with 5 elements and again second array with 5 elements, sum. Simply take the 2 variables and add a plus sign. So what will be the output? It is a addition of element wise. Each element of first array is added to the the first element of the array. First element of first array is added to the first element of second array. Second element 200 is added to the second element. It is, we call it as element wise addition, element wise operation. Similarly, we can have difference for finding out the difference of 2 arrays. Use the symbol minus, operator minus. For multiplication, use the operator star, you will get the product. For division, use a slanting slash. Here it is quotient, dividing the element of first array by the second element, by the elements of the second array, we are getting the quotient here. So these are the various different mathematical operations, the basic mathematical operations. This is the programming code. You create the array using Numpy library, store it in variable and use the mathematical operators directly. This is the exponentiation. Exponentiation is 10 to the power 1, 20 to the power 2, 30 to the power 3. So the output is 10 to the power 1 is 10, 20 square is 400, 30 to the power 3 is 27,000. In numerical values, it will simply exponent it. Power. Now these are the some of the basic questions, basic statistics, finding out the mean. I have an array of 5 elements. I want to take the sum of all the elements. So what is the function I have used? Sum. This is the array that I have called, and the function is sum. Second, to find out the mean, that is the average. Which function has been used? Mean. To find out the median, which function is used? Median. To find out this exponent is to find the value of e to the power 10, e to the power 20. Similarly, this log function to find the values using log 10, log 30. So this is the output that has been obtained. Now there is a catch here. We can easily find out the sum of every element of an array using the simple function sum. Second, similarly mean. Third, median. But the function mode is not a part of Numpy library. These 3 functions, sum, mean, median, exponent, log, these are the functions defined in the Numpy library, but this mode is not. What is mode? The value which is occurring highest number of times. How can I find it? I have to again import another library, that is scipy, and import its statistical module. There might be some question like, how will you find out the mode? You can easily find out the mean from the Numpy. Okay? You can easily find out the median, but when you try to use the function mode, you will not. You have to import another library, scipy, and its stats module. And this mode will be calculated. This will be the output. This is the output. The first line is printing the array. First line is printing the array of 5 elements. Second line is finding out the sum of each and every element in a array. Third, the function mean is finding out the average. Median is finding out the median value. Median value is 30 here. E to the power and log values and mode. So this will be the output. चले आगे. Okay. So in this lecture I have tried to cover the basic functions of your Numpy. ठीक है. In the next lecture we will cover random numbers, what is indexing, what is slicing, and how we can transpose arrays. Fine. In your lab work, you will be doing all these 5 exercises. Do the program, do the mathematical operations on different types of arrays, and find out and use the various functions that has been defined in the Numpy library. We can do one program here, how it is working. So what is the first thing? Import the library numpy, give it a name as np, create an array. My first, I hope it is visible to all of you. My first array equals to np dot array function, square brackets, take any number, values 20, 40, 44, 55. So what will be the output if I print this? So this is the way how the output is coming. You may get a question, what is the output of this program? You may get a question like this. What is the output of this program? Okay, so what will be the output of this program? There will be an error here. Why error? What is the error here? Missing parenthesis. ठीक है, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, आप ये मान के चलो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस होंगे. Now if I give you another thing, what is the output of this program? Again the output will be error. Why error? Why there will be an error? The variable here is my first array and I am trying to print the array my first. So the error here is name error. This variable does not exist. So these are the basic things that we do while programming. Again, अब यहाँ पे तो मैंने np ले लिया, np की जगह nd ले लिया और यहाँ पे मैंने np कर दिया. So will this program run? No, the program is not going to run. Again it will give me an error. There will be an error, right? क्योंकि यहाँ पे alias है nd and np is there. Okay, now if I want to find out the number of elements, how many elements are there? What is the function? Shape. So I am printing what is the array here is my first array. First array dot shape. Fine, ठीक है. So what is its output? Number of elements is 5. Now if I try to the number of dimensions, print first array dot, What is the function here? End dim 1. For D type, for the data type, now will this program run or no? Yes or no? Will this program run? Anyone else? This program will not run because there is a typing error, there is an error here. This my first array is not here. So what I have done here? FIRTS. So at first glance you will feel like ये program क्यों नहीं चल रहा? मैं तो सारा ठीक किया है. The problem here is just a minor typing error due to which the program is not running. So what is the data type? Int 64. Make it some floating values, 20.5, 40.9, run it. Float. So what is the data type here? Float 64. Give it some string. Let me give a string here. So what is the data type? U32. It is a Unicode string, right? I hope this is understood. Now you can easily program to create a simple array, 1 dimension, 2 dimension. So let us take another thing. इसमें हम लोग मीन, मीडियन एंड मोड भी निकालते हैं. First array dot sum. So there is an array here. I need to call its sum function. So what is the sum of each of the element? Have you seen the difference here? Previously I have not put the brackets here. यहाँ पे मैंने ये parenthesis नहीं लगाए थे, so it gave me an error. यहाँ पे shape के बाद parenthesis नहीं है, so it is running. यहाँ पे this sum function will not run until and unless you put parenthesis here. Okay. Now after sum you can easily find out the mean. What is the average? .1, right? So this was all for the today's class. You know what type of errors you may face, how to find out how to use the different functions using the Numpy libraries, right? I am closing it here, and in the next class we will study the random modules, random integers, what are the indexing, how we can slice out an array, how we can transpose, convert the rows to the columns and columns to the rows, interchanging of rows and columns.